EMZT Radio is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audio download and a free 30-day trial at audibletrial.com/EMZT. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Welcome to another episode of EMZT Radio. I'm Bane Hellborn with my partner, the infamous MJ.
Is it? Oh, it's another week. We're already here. Good grief.
New week.
Yeah. New fun challenges and whatever. It's almost Labor Day.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot to talk about if you can't tell.
Well, I got a couple. So, Sci-Fi Channel had their Sharknado premiere last night. I haven't heard any news. But they're also taking sharks into our nightmares with Nightmare Shark.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
It's like Nightmare on Shark Street. There we go.
Nightmare on Shark Street. Still, no.
Hey, September is Sky Sharks. I'm just dying over that one.
Sky Sharks, again.
Sky Sharks.
No. I'm all sharked out, man. I'm all sharked.
It's like
I'm all
Shark
sharked
Week
out.
hasn't stopped.
Yeah, it's like Shark Week never ends now. And you've got those... And you got the what are those people called, the fishermen from Alaska?
Yeah.
It's like they're on TV 24/7 now. Hey, did you hear this?
What?
CNN's prime time is being outdone by Ancient Aliens.
Oh yes, I read that. CNN is too boring now. They're looking at aliens.
You are fake news.
And Jason Blum from Blumhouse is wanting to reboot Friday the 13th again and other slasher films. It's like they're wanting to wipe out all the 80s and 90s slasher films and update them, which is stupid. Stupid.
Me Too approved. No, I shouldn't say that. That's just a stupid thing to say. But you know what? This is the main reason why we support indie film right here. We support indie film because, well, we actually like new ideas.
And they're original. They're original ideas.
Yes, original ideas, which we like a lot better.
And I have one little gaming report to input on. Was Mortal Kombat 10, which I found is on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. They are talking about Leatherface, all the different ways Leatherface can die, and they have all types of Leatherface. Like they have the Leatherface in the suit. They have the Butcher Leatherface. They have like his original form. They have like 3 different Leatherfaces. But there's a 20-minute video of all the Mortal Kombat characters killing him in the most brutal, gruesome, bloody ways. It's just hilarious to watch.
Just as long as I get to hear Sub-Zero go, "Get over here!" when he's talking to Leatherface.
Actually, Sub-Zero doesn't say that now.
What? He doesn't say, "Get over here!"
No, that was Scorpion.
Oh, Scorpion. No,
Scorpion. But he doesn't say that either. But yes, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they took, oh man. And all of them included, like, punching through Leatherface, pulling out his spine and rib cage.
Liu Kang.
Liu Kang, oh my god, he stomped him with fire, and Kung Lao sliced him several different ways with his hat.
Do you remember how embarrassing it used to be when you lost to Johnny Cage?
Oh yeah! Apparently in Mortal Kombat 10, there's his sister, Cassie, who's dressed like Sub-Zero. She's dressed like Sub-Zero.
So she's more of a man than he is.
Yeah.
Do you know, I actually found this out. I was perusing the YouTubes, that The Miz, WWE character, is loosely based on Johnny Cage.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I can see it.
The Miz's characters, and we also had another one that was based on Sub-Zero. He actually still wrestles, but he's now a part-time wrestler. Mostly because he's 53. Mm-hmm. The wrestler named Glacier.
Yeah.
Was such a blatant Sub-Zero ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
And which he had to have been, which he was actually, and Bischoff admitted that the character idea was a ripoff. But he has embraced Glacier so much, he still wrestles as Glacier.
Why not?
He even has the eye.
Really?
Yes, he puts in a contact and one of his eyes turns ice blue.
Real? Oh, that's awesome.
It's pretty cool. Just look up Glacier on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool. I mean, like, at 50, it's still in his 50s, he's still wrestling. He's in great shape, too.
Of course. Some of them do like to stay in shape, just in case.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, the Battle of Plastic. Who's got more plastic, brother?
Right.
Anyways.
Okay, and we have no interview this week, but that's okay. We got some good, fun stuff to talk that we'll throw in here. Like part 3 of Sinister Sisters series. We're going to have a new Creepy Minis. And episode 7 of Dead Things game audio stories.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and do some music here on EMZT Radio.
I want you to make me a vampire. Slowly mix my blood. Until one night, while I lay there in the light of the full moon, the black magic will take place. And I will come to you as your bride, and serve you for all eternity.
are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
Chronicity, a state of prolonged duration, recurrent, habitual, chronic.
A new miniseries on chronic pain and illness by your friends Matt and Phil from Semi-Intellectual Musings.
We go beyond medical diagnosis to explore the often forgotten political, social, and personal sides.
You'll hear stories from extraordinary people overcoming extraordinary challenges.
Authors, entrepreneurs, volunteers, coaches, and caregivers.
They are so much more than their diagnoses, yet each have found ways to persevere.
You'll also hear some familiar voices from the indie podcast community,
showing that art, creativity, and passion are possible while living in chronicity.
These stories and more, starting April 1st at thesim.podbean.com.
EMZT Radio is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/EMZT. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. For you, the listeners of EMZT Radio Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. That's audibletrial.com/EMZT.
How do you know this is even related? You did a lot of things last summer.
Yeah, well, only one murder comes to mind.
Just shut the hell up!
This is EMZT Radio. Come and let your ears bleed.
This is Dead Things, Episode 3, Season 2, entitled Par for the Course.
Wow. Never been to the mall this early. All of the stores are still closed. What was that? I'm jumpy. How did I get myself into this? These golf clubs are heavy, but they have to go back. I'm going to walk right in and say, "Give me my money back." That's what I'm going to do. You can do this, Doris. I know you can. Jeez. Talking to myself like a crazy lady. Not crazy by a long shot. Maybe it would be better if I was. It wasn't right. Jake never should have bought them. He and I have talked about this. Oh boy, have we talked. Was it a mistake? Golf World. This must be the place. Are they open yet? Let's see.
Front door open.
What's
Front door
Welcome.
open.
I'm sorry if the alarm, it's still turned on. Whenever someone enters and the alarm is set, it goes off. Carl isn't here to turn it off.
Oh, I see. Of course.
So how can I help you?
Well, I have these clubs.
You have golf clubs? Is this a return?
Yes.
Well, step over here and we'll take care of that. These are high-grade clubs. The Strider collection, I think. The best of the best we sell. There, just lean them up against the counter. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a receipt?
My husband bought the set of clubs from your online store.
Oh, I'm sorry. I cannot take them then. Anything bought online has to be sent back to the online store. I'm so sorry.
My husband bought them.
Well, they're our top-of-the-line golf clubs.
He made a mistake.
What, wrong style? Size?
Buying them. They're too expensive. He wasn't thinking.
Ah, I see.
They're going to kill our budget.
I see. I'm so sorry.
Not the first time he's done that. We had a big fight. You ever get to the point where you've had enough?
Maybe close.
We had talked about him buying stuff on my credit card.
I had that happen to me, honey. I understand.
He cannot have a credit card. He can't control himself. He shouldn't have bought them. But I left my credit cards out, and he doesn't seem to understand money and a budget.
Okay, I'll tell you what I can do. I'll take them back.
Thank you.
There'll be a small stocking fee, okay?
How much?
$20.
Thank you. Thank you. I cannot tell you how much this means to me.
I understand. We frugal people have to look out for each other, right?
Yeah, we do. Now, if you can come over to my house and help me with the mistake I made with my husband, that would be great.
Well, only if you come over and talk to my partner about it.
Actions speak louder than words. I have learned.
Front door.
Just give me a sec. We get vague
Front door
from time to time.
open.
Just let me move him.
He sounds sick.
It's okay. I'll just get him out and then call security. Hey, buddy, you can't come in here. Dude, I said... Hey, get off of me.
What do I do?
Oh, he's biting me. Get off of me. God damn it. Ah!
I hit him with this club.
Get harder.
Oh, my God. I think I killed him.
Call 911. He bit me. Oh, God, I'm bleeding.
Okay, let me get my phone.
Cell phones don't work on this level of the mall. Use the house phone.
Okay.
Front door open. Front door open.
Can you help me?
Front door open. Front door open. Front door open. Front door open.
Someone please help me.
Front door open.
Please, I can't do this. Someone help me. There are too many of them.
Front door open. Front door open. You have been listening to Dead Things, Episode 3, Season 2, entitled Par for the Course. The part of Doris was played by Andy Van Scoy. The part of the shopkeeper was played by Peter Miller. You can find out more about Dead Things at deadthingsgame.com. You can also find us on Facebook as Dead Things.
to another EMZT Radio Minis. I am your host, Boom Doom. I'm here with my Aunt Bane, and we're going to talk about Eyeless Jack.
Okay, tell us about Eyeless Jack.
Oh, he steals your soul and your day. Now, if you wake up, just like when you wake up when the rake is near you, the rake does it quickly, but Eyeless Jack has to take the cake because when you wake up, he either burdens you or steals your soul, or you just die. You just die. It's like Freddy, you just die. You just can't see him. You can see him, you just can't. Also, you have to live somewhere near where he died, or he could just find you randomly. You have to be near somewhere. I don't know.
So what does Eyeless Jack look like?
Blue mask. Well, you never know. Could be a mask, could be your skin. Guy came from blue and da-do-dee-dee-doo-da. But he's a blue mask skin thing. Black eyes, because, I was, and also black hoodie, and no mouth, so I assume it's a mask. But, so, technically what he does is he comes very close to your face when you wake up, and then die, or something. Kills you. Because killer.
Or he lets you live according to the story.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
But you're cut up and he took body parts.
Yeah, can you die from not having your kidneys for a certain amount of time? Wait,
no.
What? Huh.
Because you have other body parts that are filters.
Huh.
Yeah. So what happened in the main story told by Mitch was that he was attacked while he was asleep, but he didn't know it because he woke up the next day and his brother saw a gash on his cheek. They took him to the hospital because I guess it was a really bad gash.
Must have messed up.
And when they pulled up his shirt, there was a stitches on his side, and the doctor said your kidneys are missing.
Good thing he didn't take the body parts down there. It was a black market boy.
And
or
then
other stuff.
And then there was the night that he woke up seeing Eyeless Jack. He was face to face with a creature with a black hoodie, dark blue mask, no nose or mouth, staring at him. The thing that scared him the most was that it had no eyes, just empty black sockets. Creature also had some black substance dripping from its sockets.
Oh yeah, that's apparently he can also make you go to sleep. So I think it's like dream dust, or it could just be like
he scares
blood.
You so much you pass out.
Yeah, like blood or like there's a game I played about Eyeless Jack, and apparently like whenever he kills you, he doesn't really kill you, but like your screen goes black. Mm-hmm. So
because you're passed out, you're fainted.
Yeah, but yeah, mainly it'll show like black spots come up to you, and then you just yeah.
So he wanted to take a picture, and when he took the picture, that's when Eyeless Jack got upset and tried to claw open his chest to get to his lungs. He kicked it in the face really hard and ran out of his room, and he ran out and hid in the woods.
That's smart.
When he woke up, he didn't fall asleep, he just passed out. He woke up in the hospital next day, and the doctor told him good news and bad news. Good news is that you have minor injuries and your parents are going to pick you up. Bad news is that your brother has been killed by something.
Oh, maybe it's not a suit. He has a nose, just like Slender Man, but
it's a mask. Yeah.
No, that looks like skin. Just like Slender Man, he has no eyes, he has no nose holes, he has no ears, but just way different.
And he went back to his house, and they found his brother's body, but there was something laying next to it. It was his stolen, half-eaten kidney with the black stuff on it. Oh.
So it can't be his blood.
Well, the black stuff is possibly old embalming fluid, so it's possibly this guy's undead.
Oh, Mr. Ghosty Ghost.
No, he's undead.
Could be, yeah. It's a demon. No, it's bendy.
Well, demon makes sense because they secrete fluids.
Or it could be like one of the SCPs. No. Yeah, SCP. Because there's a the mask SCP-035 secretes black ooze.
But that's for mind control.
Yeah. Hey, you never know.
So
actually, it's to slowly kill them too. The mask is the one that mind controls.
It says he eats your kidneys while you sleep. Oh. His thing is he removes people's kidneys while they're sleeping.
This boy not doing the black market.
So he's eating them. It's not black market. He's doing it for food.
Creatures gotta do what the creatures gotta do, man.
So if you wake up and see him, then he'll kill you. Because you're not supposed to see him.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. So what do you think? Is that Eyeless Jack scary? He looks scary.
Yeah, pretty scary.
I would be freaked out seeing this guy.
Oh, I'd probably have, stage 4 heart attack. Stage 5, which is instant death.
Death.
Not even a peep, it's just death.
So what else do you want to say about Eyeless Jack?
Stop stealing people's kids. Has anything else came up about Eyeless Jack before I say anything?
No, it just doesn't say why he shows up. He shows up.
He's hungry. Eyeless Jack, you have problems. And kidneys are not food, even though they must probably taste like chicken.
But they are.
Oh,
Kidneys are a delicacy.
Yeah.
But he eats them raw.
How would you know?
Hannibal Lecter has a cookbook about it.
Stuff you read. God. Okay, well, Eyeless Jack, stop stealing kidneys. Don't know why you would eat them. I mean, kidneys might taste like chicken, but probably if you fry them, they taste better.
No, it actually tastes like beef because they have the most stuff in it that's food.
Are you sure that's not the heart or the brain?
Yeah, I'm sure. Because the kidney is a filter, so it's got all the stuff from the blood and urine.
Why would you want to eat? Well, it's salted, that's good, but...
Well, it's salty, yeah.
That's disgusting. People, if you're going to be cannibals, look up human organs before you do anything. Because what if you eat someone that hasn't been checked in a couple of years? Then you got a problem there. And AIDS isn't curable yet. But we're close, man. No one will ever be close. Yeah. But yeah, here's the thing. Eyeless Jack, don't stop. I don't know if you are a thing anymore. You could be fake. Who cares? I don't think is your dream killer. Stop stealing kidneys, sell on the black market, and because don't eat them. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See ya later.
Boy and girl are making out, right? When they hear over the radio that this lunatic killer's escaped from an insane asylum. He's got this long, sharp hook for a hand.
Dude, you're telling it wrong.
Shut up. So the girl, she gets all scared, right? She wants to go home. And the boy, all hot and bothered, he gets pissed and peels out.
No. That's not the way it goes. Okay, the boy goes for help, and the girl stays in the car, and she hears this scratching sound.
It's not a scratching sound. It's a drip. Drip.
No. It's scratching because the guy's been hung from a tree limb and his feet are scratching on the roof of the car.
No, he's been decapitated and it's the blood from his severed neck that's dripping on the car and it's going to drip. 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 No, he wasn't decapitated. He was gutted with a hook.
You are now listening to EMZT Radio. Hey everyone, this is Bowmine Bob from Bowling with Bobcat. You can listen to me live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern at sfdradio.com, where I'm bringing you the best of the worst in cheap booze, talking bum wine, beers, 40s, malt liquor, and more. Always featuring the latest and greatest in the world of drinking and entertainment, along with some special guests. So come on down and take a ride with Bumwine Bob. If you can't be there live, you can always listen in the archives at bumwinebob.com. So sit back, relax, grab a drink, and enjoy. Cheers.
Jesus is back with a vengeance. You've seen the passion of the Christ. Now behold his fury. Framed for a crime he didn't commit and left for dead. Jesus is back. In American Jesus. Coming soon.
This is the creepypasta about Eyeless Jack. Hello, my name is Mitch. I'm here to tell you guys about my experience I had. I don't know if it was paranormal or whatever stupid words people use to describe supernatural phenomenons. But after that thing visiting me, I believe in the paranormal trash now. A week after I moved in with my brother Edwin, after my house was foreclosed, I finished unpacking Edwin. Like the idea of me moving in since we had not seen each other after 10 years. So I was excited too. I soon fell asleep after I moved in. After a week, I heard rustling noises coming from the outside at about 1 in the morning. I thought it was a raccoon, so I ignored it and tried to fall asleep. The next morning, I told Edwin about it, and then he agreed. The next night, however, I thought I heard my window opening, a loud thump, as if something had entered my room. I darted up, and I looked around my room, but I saw nothing. The next morning, Edwin dropped his coffee cup when he saw me. He held up a nearby mirror, and I saw myself. I had a large gash in my left cheek. After I was rushed to the hospital, the doctor told me I have been sleepwalking, but then he showed me something that made my blood turn cold. After he lifted up my shirt to reveal a sewn-up incision where my kidneys were. I stared in his eyes. You somehow lost your left kidney last night. We don't know how, though. Sorry, Mitch, my doctor told me. Next night, it was my breaking point around midnight. I woke to a truthfully horrifying sight. It was a staring face to my face, with a creature with a black hoodie and a dark blue mask, with no nose or mouth, staring down at me. The thing that scared me the most was that it had no eyes, just empty black sockets. The creature also had some dark substance dripping from its eye sockets. I grabbed my camera nearby and took a picture. After the picture took, the creature lunged at me and tried to claw open my chest to get to my lungs. I stopped it by kicking it in the face as I ran out of my room. I grabbed my wallet. I would need the money. I ran out to my brother's house into the night. I eventually ended up in the woods nearby Edwin's house and tripped on a rock. I fell unconscious and woke up in the hospital. My doctor entered my room, and same one who treated me before. I have good news and bad news, Mitch. My doctor started. The good news is that I have a minor injury, and your parents are going to pick you up. I sighed. Bad news is that your brother has been killed. Buy something. Sorry. My parents took me back to Edwin's house to collect my remaining belongings, which I did upon entering my room. I was scared, but remained calm. I grabbed my camera, then I stopped dead in my tracks. In the hallway, leading into my room, I saw Edwin's body and something small lying next to it. I picked up the small thing and entered my parents' car, not recognizing Edwin's corpse. I looked at the thing and I nearly vomited. I was holding my stolen, half-eaten kidney, but some black substance was on it.
I had no idea her breasts were so manly.
Good, she does these exercises, pump them up.
You guys, hi, I'm on sexist overload as it is. Kill the commentary.
It starts with words and escalates to tears. How did I get here? The room spins and my vision blurs. I can't make out your words. I look at you to analyze. I see no remorse in your eyes. And now you've taken my breath. It's the best day of my death. When you start, my old life's dead and gone. I've never felt so strong. My heart will beat. I can't recall why I have no pulse at all. And now you've taken my breath. It's the best day of my death. I feel your fangs on my neck. It's the best day of my death. And we'll bathe in blood. At last, I am loved. And now you've taken my breath. It's the best day of my death. I feel your fangs on my neck. It's the best day of my death.
There's a monster in your chest. These guys hijacked your ship, and they sold your cryotube to this human, and he put an alien inside of you. It's a really nasty one. And in a few hours, it's gonna burst its way through your rib cage, and you're gonna die. Any questions?
This is Luke and Wolf, and you're listening to EMZT Radio with your hosts, the Sinister Sisters.
Did you know puppets jizz silly string? Lots of silly string. Sinister Sisters.
Welcome to another Sinister Sisters. This is part 3 and the wrap-up of creepy urban legends across the U.S. I'm Bane Hellborn with my sister,
Scorpio Girl.
And this episode starts off in North Carolina.
North Carolina, never been there.
Neither have I. The Beast of Bladdenboro.
It looks beastie.
It's a vampire cat beast.
Of course it is.
That's also part bear.
That's part bear. Alright.
And will brutally murder your pets and or livestock and maybe you when you aren't looking. In 1954, a string of mysterious, gruesome deaths began to hit animals in and around Bladdenboro, North Carolina. Broken jaws, crushed heads, and even reports of blood completely drained from bodies. Eyewitness accounts varied, but seemed to point to something vaguely feline in nature, but also larger and more powerful. The story made the national news, and there were multiple hunting parties that attempted to catch the beast. They never did, but the killings eventually stopped, at least for now. And,
do they have mountains out there? Is it a mountain lion?
How do they know what it looks like? If eyewitness counts varies. I mean, obviously, it's a cat creature that's big enough to be a bear.
Because people are stupid. That's one thing I've learned. Well, mine's not as creative. I have Normie. Normie is the cute name given to the monster-sized fish living in Lake Norman. Large enough to swallow a human whole, he's been spotted so many times, mostly by divers, who vow to never go under those waters again. Many legend trippers have gone in search of whatever is lurking in the depths of this North Carolina lake. It's a fish.
A big fish, obviously.
But notice, only people that have witnessed it or seen it have been divers. Only.
So it hasn't affected anybody, really.
Not really, but it's in the water.
It's in the water, and it's a big fish.
There's a Normie in our water.
Normie in the water. Okay. North Dakota.
Okay, what you got, North Dakota?
Another gate of hell.
Oh, wow. The devil loves his...
And it's an abandoned town.
Oh, even better. That makes sense.
Abandoned towns are generally creepy, and North Dakota has an abundance of settlements that were all but abandoned after the railroad boom. Tagus, though, takes the cake due to the little fact that people believe that it once housed a Lutheran church that doubled as a hotbed for Satan worship.
Excuse me?
Legend is, it burned down, but if you stand in just the right place, you can hear the screams of the damned bubbling up from hell itself. There are also reports of hellhounds, glowing gravestones, and a ghost train.
Okay. I like the ghost trains.
Okay, and glowing gravestones.
Those have always fascinated me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ghost trains. Yeah. Vandals and revelers have made the few people who call Tagus home very wary of visitors, and Lord knows that the combination of a rumored portal to hell and extremely unwelcoming locals in a small town is boilerplate horror movie fodder. Yeah.
Right.
Wasn't there a movie about this?
I mean, I feel like there's a supernatural episode about this, but where all the reapers gathered, and something about, was it Roanoke or what was that? I can't remember. Remember when they killed off Joe and the daughter?
Yeah, but they were trying to keep Satan from raising death. He was digging up death. Yeah.
Maybe this is where death's buried.
The Satanism business dates back to the Satanic Panic of the 80s, remember? All the movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all those psychiatrists were implanting memories on their patients being part of cults.
Yeah.
Satanic cults.
Like the one girl who had a memory that she was part of a cult and had babies, but she was still a virgin.
Well, yeah, because that was the craze in the 80s, was the satanic cult business.
Yeah.
I don't know if they decided to, play a cruel joke on the mentally ill or damaged.
Well, Satanism is a big subject. It was a big thing back then. Oh, Satan worshippers got me.
But there was a lot of end of days times back then too. I remember a lot of end of days.
Yeah.
Kind of bullshit.
But the funny is, Satanists are not really that way. So.
Yeah, I mean,
they're more Christian than the Christians, unfortunately.
It's pretty sad at that state.
Tagus has been spooky since its founding in 1900, and ever since the late 80s, when hundreds of high schoolers turned up for a vandalism-intensive Halloween party were run out of the ghost town. Visitors have been met with extreme skepticism. The city's last church burned to the ground in 2001. Oh.
This reminds me of that Robert Englund movie where the dead from the town can come back. Where that song, "The South Will Rise."
Oh.
The South will...
2001 Maniacs.
See, so I wouldn't doubt that these kids were run out by a town full of ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Never underestimate the power of ghosts.
Yeah.
You may not believe in them, but they believe in you.
Yeah. What you got?
I got a load of horse shit called the Thunderbird. The dinosaurs are extinct, just not in North Dakota. Dinosaur lovers have been flocking here for years to spot the pterosaur purportedly soaring over the Great Plains. Sightings have been publicly reported as recent as 2009.
Whoa.
All right. You know what? I've never seen a headline.
Okay.
I've never seen it in the news.
Okay, you know a pterosaur is like pterodactyl type creatures.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
a big giant fucking bird from...
from the dinosaur age.
North Dakota. Yeah. Sweetie.
Yeah, I mean, because that's where they do a lot of the dinosaur digs.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Maybe it's a skeleton pterosaur.
I think what it is like, I can't remember if it was North Dakota or South Dakota. Way back when one of the presidents just got elected, and I can't remember which one, but it was either North or South Dakota kept stocking this pond full of fish, so the president would stay longer so they could gather some tourism kind of brownie points. So I'm feeling that this Thunderbird is another way to raise the tourism level, because I don't know what the hell is in North Dakota to go and visit. I'm sure if you live there, you're stuck there, or you were born there. Or, I mean, who the fuck goes, I'm moving to North Dakota?
People who want to get away from it all.
I guess. Who want to go back to the dinosaur age, I guess. I don't know.
Unless...
Time tunnel.
Yeah. Unless that area is making some weird sounds, because those birds made sounds.
It could be a governmental, like, military plane.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
And you're just getting fucked with, North Dakota.
Yeah, good try.
Good try.
Good try.
Good try.
The gates of hell top it, though.
Of course, always the gates of hell will top any urban legend. I mean, when it involves Satan, you know, you just gotta...
It's a moneymaker.
You gotta believe it.
It's a moneymaker. Ohio.
Oh, every time I hear Ohio, all I think is that song, Cleveland Rocks. Cleveland Rocks. All the little chicks with the lipstick lips scream Cleveland Rocks. What do you got?
Something called melon heads.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. It sounds like something stale your granny might keep in her candy dish, but is actually a legend about pale, sickly, genetically altered children with giant heads, razor-sharp teeth that simply love killing babies, and also you in some variances. So, yeah, much worse.
Jeez.
Okay. Experimented on genetically altered children with disproportionate heads, razor-sharp teeth. Okay. All right. Okay. It's so far okay. Riffs on the tale also exist in Michigan and Connecticut, but the Ohioan case is particularly compelling. These melonheads haunt the woods of Kirkland and are apparently the adopted children of an unscrupulous doctor who used the pre-melon heads to test new medical and surgical methods with not so great results. Okay, here we go. Demented doctor. Got it. In some versions of the tale, the kids are more likely to scurry away like chipmunks than bite your face off. In others, they're just ghosts of kids. One thing is certain, they definitely inspired one very campy, hyper-local horror movie.
I think ours is similar, because mine's called The Mutants of Helltown.
Ah, okay.
So if you have a hazmat suit on hand, you can stop by to see Ohio's B-movie of an urban legend. The Mutants of Helltown. Town. Nice. Boston Mills was once a small town suburb like any other, until the day when the residents disappeared, leaving a ghost town behind. That day was a scheduled move-out date on the calendar for quite some time, for the U.S. government brought back the land to make way for Cuyahoga Valley National Park, which is a much more boring story than the local legend of a nearby chemical accident that caused all the Boston Mills residents to mutate and the government to quarantine the town. Visitors to Helltown still claim to see strange, deformed citizens lurking around the area.
Oh, toxic chemical spill.
Oh my gosh, Toxie! Where Toxie was born.
No, actually he was born in New Jersey.
Ah, shit. Anyways, yeah, this is really interesting because you don't hear of any reports of this. Like, when? When did this happen? I've got no dates.
Yeah.
Like, when did this... And what was so toxic that they were... I think... And it was a pre-scheduled... The government... This was pre-scheduled to turn into a ghost town, apparently, by the U.S. government.
So they could do all that dumping.
Oh,
so
it's
do
a
the
dumping site, and these are the people that were like, hell no, we won't go, hell no.
Or,
all right.
Or they're like the cannibal mutants from Hills Have Eyes.
See?
They decided not to go, but they hid so nobody knew they were there.
See? Oh, we just cracked the case.
Mm-hmm.
We just cracked the case, man.
I clicked on the link for the one to my story, and it's actually a movie called The Legend of the Melonheads.
2010. Oh my gosh.
It's definitely a B movie.
Right, but it kind of... But, you know, deranged doctors experimenting. I mean, that's how we got Human Centipede.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how we got a lot of this sick, depraved shit that's going on now today.
Ohio, thumbs up.
Big thumbs up, Ohio.
Thumbs up.
You got it all. You got deranged doctor, you've got melon heads, you've got chemical spills, you've got U.S. government conspiracy.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck.
Gold star.
That's a gold star, Ohio.
Yeah.
You shocked me.
Yeah. Oklahoma's next.
I got something lame. I got the spook lights of Peoria.
Okay.
Alien? Ghost? Illuminated gas? No one is quite sure what the floating, flashing orbs of light on this heavily wooded Peoria road are. The Army Corps of Engineers described it as a mysterious light of unknown origin in 1946, and the closest anyone's gotten to explaining these lights since, whatever it is, it's been spook lighting local residents for nearly 100 years.
No lighthouse.
No lighthouse in Oklahoma, but we've got spooky lights that have been around since 1946. So what do you got, Oklahoma?
The Skirvin Hotel.
So much better so far.
I hear a haunted hotel.
Yeah.
Because the place is basically Oklahoma's equivalent to the hotel from The Shining, a luxury hotel whose permanent residents include eternally crying babies, a ghost that likes to grope people in the shower.
Oh. Wait, stop. How many of you also don't close your eyes in the shower because you get all these mental images of something being in the shower with you?
Right. Spirits that slammed doors. The ghost of the original owner's mistress, who allegedly died along with his illegitimate child, and who still walks the halls with a stroller.
Ooh, creepy.
It's so prevalent that even the toughest of NBA players who stay at the posh hotel when in OKC often find themselves seeking alternate accommodations. And that's before the bed bugs start biting.
Oh, snap and a burn. Oh, my God.
The place was built in 1911, and shortly thereafter, original owner Fred Scherubel was shot to death, but not before allegedly impregnating a maid who perished on the 10th floor. It's been downhill from there. Even a renovation in the early 90s didn't scrub the supernatural away from the haunted hotel in Oklahoma.
I mean, when you remodel, you don't scrub it clean. You like kick up the dust.
Yeah. So they
Ghosts
busted it open.
Do not like that because even when you renovate, they're
being disturbed.
Well, not just that, but they still can see the place as it was and still interact as it was.
Yeah.
So you're kind of messing up the mojo. You're messing up the mojo there.
Yeah.
So you kind of like asking for it. But I'm quite interested because this hotel owner sounds like he could be right up there with H.H. Holmes and
well, I don't know. He said
he didn't kill anybody.
He sounded kind of like a douchebag.
Yeah.
Messing with the maids.
Yeah. But they all did that back then.
1911, yeah.
There was no...
He doesn't sound so bad, except he sounds like a horny ghost groping people in the shower.
You know that's got to be him.
That's got to be him.
That's got to be him. Still in the afterlife, he's still getting his feels.
He's still horny.
Still getting those feels. You know what? I believe in horny ghosts.
Okay, Oklahoma. You saved it.
No, with your horny ghost.
With your horny ghost in the haunted hotel.
Yes, there we go.
Oregon.
What you got?
It looks like a mummy.
Oh, Oregon, where would you get a mummy?
Well, they smoke. Okay, they smoke. The Bandage Man of Cannon Beach.
Oh.
Which, in other words, means mummy. Far from the rooted in history scares of Portland's Shanghai tunnels, the Bandage Man haunts a lonely patch of decommissioned highway near the idyllic coast town of Cannon Beach. Like many slightly pervy ghosts, he likes to mess with randy teenagers making out in their cars. Here's another one!
Okay.
Though more sinister legends have him eating dogs, wandering the windswept roadside, and even jumping in the back of pickups and sedans, filling the car with the scent of rotting flesh. Ugh, that doesn't sound nice.
Didn't we just learn on watching a documentary on urban legends that this story, these type of stories like the Hook Man and all that with Lover's Lane and
killers.
Stuff like that was all started of the warnings against unprotected sex to scare
or teenage sex.
Well, to scare the teenagers,
from doing
it. Yeah. And this is what probably the PTA came up with to try and scare these children.
Yeah. The Bandage Man, most popularly a logger hacked up at the nearby mill, made his earliest documented appearance in the 50s. See, that was during that time that started.
That was during that time, yeah.
And he was likely a spook story told around beach bonfires by teens weaned on movie monsters, thus the silly mummy-like roots. Still, after hearing that tale late at night when retiring to the confines of a secluded road for a little third base action, it's a story that carries enough creepy weight to seriously kill the mood, which is why it's persisted for decades.
See, these kind of stories, now I know it stinks of a parent afraid of teenage sex.
But it's also a farty ghost because it smells like rotted.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe that's to allude to the whole fishy smell of vaginas.
Or it's supposed to be a buzz killer.
It is! It really is. You parents are horrible. Well,
what do you got?
Fixies and waxed mustaches aren't the only reason to visit Portland. Underneath the streets of Old Town, there's a less whimsical tourist attraction, the series of tunnels used for human trafficking in the northwestern cities.
Oh.
So many people meet unhappy ends down there that it's now known as one of the most haunted places in America,
Portland.
Also known as the Shanghai Tunnels.
Yep.
Okay, Oregon and human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
Like where?
Unless it's a tunnel that goes to the coast. So they can get away by boat.
To where? I mean, we're talking. What? Canada?
Okay.
Human trafficking through Canada. I mean, right? Because that's right. I mean, Oregon's right up there, butted up to that area.
It's close, yeah.
Well, where are these tunnels starting and ending from? Like, you know, human trafficking is, what, Cuba and I don't know where else.
There's even a tour for it.
You know, and that's just, I don't know. I just don't know. Human trafficking in Oregon. You know, I would believe it because that kind of atmosphere up there is kind of like...
Okay.
At least when I used to live in that kind of area, it was hippies and smoking pot, but I never
must
knew
be talking about the old... Remember where we used to live in Northern California where in the early days they had Oriental people, Japanese, Chinese... Those type of people coming in.
But the thing is they solved that problem because they caused a false story and was able to actually ship all these Asians, I don't know what's more PC, Orientals or Asians, on a boat and sent them off to San Francisco.
Actually, sounds like some of them went to Portland.
Wow. Yeah. So they were... Oh!
Yeah, they shipped them to Portland.
And San Francisco. San Francisco got a lot of them because that's how the bridges... Wasn't the Golden Gate Bridge done by the Asians that were interred in those camps out there? Yeah, okay. Now I get it. The Asians got a...
Yeah.
Oh, Shanghai tunnels.
Hello.
Oh my God.
Hello. Referring to Shanghai, China.
Oh my God. This is so in depth.
Yeah.
And you can tour the tunnels.
And there was a link in my article that says there's tours to the Secret of Tunnels in Portland. And there's it looks like there's even an area because it says Old Town, Chinatown, Japantown, and Skidmore Fountain area.
Well, you know where we lived in Northern California in Old Town, there were a series of tunnels, and the only reason why I know it's true is because I had a friend that worked at a coffee shop there that showed me the tunnels, and you could basically go all around Old Town using these tunnels. And you know what? Very creepy feeling.
Yeah.
Very creepy feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because of the claustrophobia or the history, but
historic.
It was very, very like you felt like you were being weighed on. You know what I mean? So yeah, where we lived, our Old Town was all
underground. Yeah.
I mean,
because they literally had to kick people out through the tunnels.
But now they just say you could go from one shop to the other shop to the other shop to the other shop.
Right.
But I'm sure there's a lot of shady dealings going on under there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yep.
Wow.
Pennsylvania.
We better have something good, Philly. What do you got?
I don't know. Charlie No Face.
Oh, like a Slender Man.
AKA the Glowing Green Man.
Oh, like an alien.
According to legend, after a tragic childhood accident, Charlie No Face lost his face and turned radioactive. Nope, he's Toxic Avenger.
Oh my God, we got
without a face.
Toxie.
Literally glowing a toxic green as he stalks western Pennsylvanian highways at night. His main haunt is Piney Fork Tunnel, an abandoned freight tunnel in Hillsville. But if you seek him out, keep your foot on the accelerator. Even if he manages to touch your car, it might stall out. Then you'll be hanging out with Charlie No Face for the rest of your probably short life. Ray Robinson was a real man. As a child in 1919, he was severely electrocuted by a trolley wire while peering into a bird's nest, which practically melted and disfigured his entire face. As an adult, Robinson walked western Pennsylvanian highways, Route 351, but only at night as his shocking visage garnered unwanted attention. His glowing appearance is likely due to the petroleum jelly he needed to coat his damaged skin. Those who know him claim he was incredibly sweet, though profoundly isolated, and no, he has nothing to do with Pennsylvania's other Green Man.
So wait, he got electrocuted.
But
how the fuck can he see? Doesn't your eyeballs melt out? Well, I don't know. I've never...
Well, yeah, because...
I don't know where you get the glowing. I don't know where you get the glowing because usually
from the petroleum jelly. It had glow-in-the-dark properties.
Petroleum jelly.
Yeah.
Because
1919. Come on, babe.
I mean, that's a stupid story.
Well,
Poor little sweet man.
Because being electrocuted by a trolley wire, it should have killed him.
You'd think it would, not glow him in the dark.
Well, it should have killed him. I don't know.
Why does he go killing?
Oh, he doesn't.
Well, it says your short life. If he touches your car, it disconnects.
It stalls out.
Oh, so maybe if he touches you, you get electrocuted too?
Yeah.
But he doesn't die, you die.
Right.
I don't know about this one.
Sounded a little interesting.
It did sound a little interesting.
What about you?
I've got The Bus to Nowhere.
Wasn't that to this town?
Sweetie, there are no buses that come to this town. You gotta remember, we have no buses that come to this town.
All right, I had to be dropped off an hour away.
Yeah, that's where the buses drop you off, an hour and away, and someone has to pick your happy ass up to bring you back to this town.
But the bus goes through this town.
It goes through it. It don't stop. So, a bad day during a visit to Philly can last a really long time. The Bus to Nowhere preys on people catching public transportation in a funk. Standing morosely... Morosely, I love that word. Mm-hmm. We don't use that word enough. Mm-mm. Standing morosely at a city bus stop without paying attention to which one you're getting on, and the bus will keep driving timelessly for years until you shake it off long enough to remember to pull the cord for your stop. Oh my.
The last car.
Yes, or a bus driver that's just sick of it all and just likes to drive to nowhere.
To nowhere.
We got a couple of morose motherfuckers here. Bung!
Oh, that's sad. Rhode Island.
We're going to Rhode Island. Never been.
Oh.
I hear it's lovely from Family Guy.
Mercy Brown.
Ooh.
Rhode Island's home to many a haunted house, including the one that inspired The Conjuring. But one legend you can experience without trespassing is the tale of Mercy Brown.
Why does that name sound so familiar?
It seemed that back in the day, Rhode Island was in the midst of a vampire panic, and its most famous victim was 19-year-old Mercy Brown. I feel like I've talked about this before.
Right? I feel like we have.
After her mother and sister died, Mercy succumbed to tuberculosis as well. Due to the panic, villagers presumed something supernatural was afoot. When they exhumed Mercy, her body was remarkably well preserved, so they removed her heart and liver, burned them down to ashes, and fed them to her sick brother.
Why would they do that?
That's fucked up.
Why would they do that?
And he died 2 months later.
Well, duh.
Because it was tuberculosis.
I mean...
It was infected.
Why were they...
That's like feeding an animal zombie meat. Come on. They say the spirit of Mercy, though, still haunts the cemetery of Exeter, where her gravesite remains a place where morbid tourists flock and where a chill hangs perpetually in the air. So this was back in the 1890s. Historical fact, Mercy Brown died on January 17th, 1892, and her cremated heart was force-fed to her brother. Cremated heart. They fed him the ashes?
But apparently it was still infected.
But being force-fed ashes, that makes you even sicker.
There's got to be more behind this story. Why would they do that to the brother?
Her story is the most famous of many similarly gruesome tales that stokes the fires of Rhode Island's haunted landscape.
I feel like there's something more to this Mercy Brown because I've heard this name before.
Yeah, didn't we talk about this before?
But I don't remember the story, but the name just rings a bell.
Yeah.
I have Fingernails Freddy. Which, didn't another state have a Freddy Krueger-like?
Yeah.
In Cumberland, Rhode Island, you can be terrorized by A-list celebrity urban legend Freddy Krueger. Back in the 19th century, he was known as Fingernails Freddy, an average, if reportedly violent, Rhode Island native with noticeably long nails. That is until a group of local kids set Fingernails Freddy's house on fire, giving him his characteristic scar and starting the supernatural chapter of his dream murder spree. But in Cumberland, you don't have to be asleep to see him. Legend has it that anyone who visits his former property in the woods dies under mysterious circumstances. In Rhode Island. Where was Freddy? Do we remember where he was from in the movie?
Well, from the series, he was from California, but there was also the other one, he was from Ohio.
I seem to remember another state had a Freddy Krueger-like being.
Yeah.
Which, it's kind of, I mean, honestly, this one has teenagers that burn down his home, so...
Yeah. So, either Wes Craven took a little bit of that story. Alright, South Carolina, you're up. I guess we have the same one.
We do have the same one, but let me do mine because you usually have, like, more in-depth about it.
Okay.
So South Carolina is famous for its adorable boutique hotels. Fall asleep in one, and you might be visited by the South Carolina legend, the Boo Hag. She is a red, skinless monster, but she's really just there to feed on a little of your energy by lying on top of you and sucking your breath as you fall asleep. Okay. Wasn't that the thing about cats?
Yeah.
Why cats aren't allowed around infants? Okay.
Yeah.
Let her feed and you'll fall peacefully into a deep sleep. Fight her and she'll steal your skin and wear it around for a while.
Whoa.
Neither proposition sounds appealing. Just put a broom beside your bed before you go to sleep at night. The Boo Hag will be so consumed by counting the straws that she'll be busy until morning and won't be able to suck your energy before the sun comes up.
Oh, I don't even have that.
That is quite interesting.
Yeah.
A broom. Obviously, she's OCD and has to count shit.
Yeah. So, yeah. But this says Boo Hags, so there's more than one.
Yeah, so apparently there's a breed of them. Maybe they're just witches. So, yeah, duh, succubuses. That's what they do, don't they? They steal your energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, usually they say with succubuses, you know you have a succubus in your house when you're having trouble sleeping, you're more lethargic, your mood is more angry, and you're more violent, and there's more fighting in the house. That's your, like, cue that you have a succubus in the house. Yeah. So maybe succubus is another word for boo hags.
Maybe.
Because you're crying because these fucking hags are stealing your fucking energy that you barely have to get your ass to work. Fucking boo fucking hag. Sorry, I'm a little bitter.
Boo hags are a fixture of the Gula or Geechee culture prevalent in coastal low country areas populated by African American descendants of slavery.
Oh.
So it's also some voodoo.
Uh-oh.
The creatures are among the most horrifying and unsettling among a rich folkloric history, yet seem tame when compared to the true atrocities of the region that birthed them. So, yeah. So they're a type of vampire, succubuses. But this doesn't say a gender, it just says they.
Yeah.
They creep into people's homes in the low country, climb on their chests for a ride, and gain vitality by sucking out your breath.
But did they have this thing about the cats?
Yeah,
cats steal breath too.
It's an old tale that...
It's such an old tale.
That cats...
steal your breath.
Babies and old people. They go after babies and old people.
To steal your breath.
To steal your breath.
But I've never known why the cats were known to do that, though.
I don't know either.
Unless it was to replenish their 9 lives, but then why
recharge when they're on their 8th life. Alright, South Dakota's next.
South Dakota, what do you got for us, baby?
Walking Sam.
Okay.
Which apparently is another version of Slender Man.
Oh my!
On Indian Reservation.
Ooh!
A wave of suicides, 103 attempts as of December 2014 on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota is being attributed to the presence of Walking Sam figure. Teenagers claim a slender, shadow-like spirit dubbed Walking Sam appears before them and commands them to kill themselves. Sound familiar?
Right.
The first wave occurred in 2013 when 5 members of the Oglala Sioux tribe killed themselves and continued to spiral until Oglala Sioux tribe Vice President Thomas Poorbear discovered photos on Facebook in 2015 depicting nooses hanging from trees, revealing plans behind a teenage group suicide. A suicide pact!
Oh my.
The specter archetype that Walking Sam is based on has roots starting with the good old-fashioned boogeyman and working all the way down to Slender Man Told Me to Do It, folklore of 2008. The idea of shadow people is probably old-school urban legend going further back than history can care to track. However, the character of Walking Sam himself has existed among the Lakota and Dakota Native American tribes for some time now, with a record of him being described in Peter Matheson's In the Spirit of Crazy Horse back in 1980. Sometimes known as Stovepipe Hat Bigfoot or Takuhi, the character has been spotted by South Dakota Sioux and Little Eagle tribes as far back as 1974. Whoa, Indian Slenderman.
You know what's interesting, though, as I remember reading in Northern California a few years back, which could be around the same time as this, the 2014, 2013, where there was a whole tribe that banded together because they were noticing such a high rate of suicides in their tribe.
Of teenagers.
It was the Hoopaw tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And how the whole tribe banded together to, like, be more of a community like they used to be because of this high rate of suicides. But I remember it being around the same time frame. So that's interesting that there was this spike of possibly
of mass teenage suicides.
But on Indian reservations.
Yeah.
That's what gets me, but, you know. Well, I've got Devil's Gulch.
Devil's Gulch.
And if you're a Wild West fan, this'll get you. Fans of the legendary outlaw Jesse James will want to visit Devil's Gulch. This is reportedly where Jesse famously jumped his horse. It's 20 feet wide and 60 feet deep, making this urban legend quite a feat.
Garrettson, South Dakota.
Garrettson, South Dakota. And you know what? I believe it because the stories of Jesse James outsmarting the law are so, like...
Legendary.
I mean, I remember when we visited Missouri, my cousins took me to the steep cliff that he rode a horse down to get away from lawmen. I mean, it's a very famous and infamous cliff. And my cousins were like, there it is. And I'm like, what is it? And they said, this is where Jesse James rode a horse down. And I'm like, it's like a 90-degree angle. What are you talking about? But
horse would have tripped and fell over.
But Devil's Gulch, I mean...
To where they said he spurned his horse and sprinted towards the chasm with the lawmen watching with mouths agape. Jesse's horse hurled itself across the 20-foot gorge.
I'd believe it. I mean, this wasn't Jesse James, not to get off topic, but wasn't Jesse James like, I mean, he started out as a horse...
Thief.
Okay, so you gotta know
and then
Jesse
James, he's went into bank robbing.
And he was a kid, too. Wasn't he all of, like, a young teenager when he started in mid-20s or something like that when he died? I mean, you gotta know the limits to a horse. And all the stories I've heard of Jesse James, he's pretty much knew how far a horse's limits were. But South Dakota has part of Jesse James history.
With Devil's Gulch Park. That has all types of signs and plaques. And there's a walking tour you can go check out.
Well, we've got to make money off of this.
Of course.
Still, 100 years later? We've still got to make money off of this.
Yeah, over 100 years.
Still got to make money.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid was a legend.
Yeah.
He was a flippin' legend.
Yeah. Definitely.
Especially since his best friend turned sheriff.
No, it wasn't a ranger?
It was his best friend. They started out as best friends.
But he joined the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, but they worked at the same horse ranch.
Marshall. He turned
Didn't they start off working at the same horse ranch?
Yeah.
And they were really good friends. They were best friends. That's why he was able to take Jesse James down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
And I didn't know that Jesse James went that far.
So
I know about Missouri, but I did not know about
South Dakota. Yeah. As it turned out, we got our facts mixed up with Billy the Kid. So we were talking about Billy the Kid and not Jesse James. So I'm sorry about that. Tennessee.
Who sings that song?
Arrested Development.
I have Old Green Eyes.
Old Green Eyes. Okay.
Old Blue Eyes was a famous New Jersey crooner. Old Green Eyes is a famous Tennessee ghost. He used to be a Confederate soldier until he died on the Chickamauga battlefield, where only his head was found. Now urban legend has it his glowing green eyes follow anybody who walks the field of his erstwhile battlefield at night.
Oh.
You know what? I believe it.
Yeah.
Those Civil War, Confederate,
yeah,
they are very...
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the ghost videos I've watched of the Confederates,
they
you
are
could
all
tell.
they are all not at rest because they died too sudden.
I don't think it's that they died too sudden. I mean, think about it. It was brother against brother, son against father.
Well, that too, but
mother against daughter. I mean, it was a tragic, and they were fighting for their fucking lives. I mean,
land, yeah.
Land, lives, family. I mean, they were fighting for the very fabric of our civilization.
Yeah.
I mean, people want to disagree and want to tear down monuments and flags and statues about it, but I think the Civil War was like a very monumental part of our history.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it tore apart families. It tore apart friends. It tore apart the reason of why we were over here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I want to say that all the videos I've seen of ghost huntings, it's been the Confederate soldiers that have been the most prominent. Like, you could tell they were wearing a coat, and you could tell they were wearing the hat. You could see the musket they were carrying. I mean, very prominent ghost sighting, very clear ghost sightings of these Confederate soldiers. I mean, I believe it. I totally believe it.
And, of course, Tennessee has the Bell Witch.
The Bell Witch. That is so
Witch.
classic.
Yeah. Essentially a real-life horror movie? Yeah. The hauntings of one Tennessee family by some sort of spirit believed to be a witch ultimately attracted the attention and subsequent visit by soon-to-be President Andrew Jackson. Oh. And while Jackson, who allegedly was spoken to by the witch, got the heck out of Dodge, a cave near the site believed to be the portal for the witch remains a major tourist attraction in Adams, Tennessee today. Probably hell is where it came from, but more factually, the haunting of the Bell family began in 1817 after the father, John Bell, witnessed some sort of rabbit-headed dog in his field and tried to shoot it. From that night on, the family experienced tappings on the doors and windows, sheets slowly being pulled off beds, and eventually the voice of a woman named Kate, who was dead set on destroying the family. After years of torment, John Bell died in 1820, after which the family found a small vial of liquid near his deathbed, poison. Kate, the Bell Witch, proudly proclaimed she gave John the poison that finished him off.
Nope.
Yeah.
Does this sound familiar? John Bell, the Bell family?
Yeah.
Who are we really talking about?
The father.
The American haunting.
Yeah.
This is the
Where
story. They blamed it on a witch, but he was fucking his daughter.
It was actually John Bell who was doing the terrorizing.
John Bell, this is where the legend came from, because the truth came out that he was sexually abusing his young daughter.
Yeah.
And the reason why the Bell Witch came out of it is because a neighbor or family members or something like that found the daughter's bloody dress and blamed it on the Bell Witch.
Yeah.
And all the wrappings and the knockings and the items flying through the air, they blamed it on her, but it was actually the poltergeist that the daughter created because she was suffering this trauma from her own father. So he killed himself out of immense guilt.
Probably.
There was
realizing.
The Bell Witch was the cover story the family created because they did
hide
not
the truth.
want to tell everybody
that the father was a sex maniac for his own kid. Yeah, it's just scandal.
Tennessee.
They were trying to avoid a scandal. So, yeah.
This was not an urban legend whatsoever. This was a cover-up story.
Well,
I will not... No.
But this is a famous
No.
story. It's a famous story.
It's a famous story, yeah.
Let's put it that way.
But
it's
this
bullshit.
is a 100% cover-up story. This is no way near an urban legend. Nowhere
But this
near.
is the well-known story.
Yeah, but urban legend, I will never call an urban legend. He was a sick, sadistic fuck.
Yeah.
And he gets to have this cover story so he can die in peace. Fuck that bastard. Sorry. I'm very passionate about this story because we did this on Father's Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to
about bad fathers.
I had to research this story, and not only did I watch the movie prior to this, but researching this story and watching the movie really fucks with you. Like, really fucks with you. So, no, I will not call this an urban legend. I will call this the cover story. Fuck you, John Bell.
Okay. Thank you.
Next on the docket.
Texas.
I have something stupid. What do you have?
Oh, geez, more lights for you?
Let's do mine because mine's really stupid.
Yeah,
and yours is actually something that you and Boom Doom
talked about
as a creepypasta.
Last week. Yeah.
For those 3 or 2 or 1 person that follows us, Sinister Sisters.
You know, we got more following.
Okay, so I have the cheesy light story. These are the Marfa lights. Visit the tiny town of Marfa, Texas, to see the eerie lights in the sky. They show up randomly and they act oddly, split into 2, merge back together, dart around the sky. Locals have lots of theories of their origin, from car lights to aliens to disembodied spirits. At least one scientific study says that they're the results of glowing gases. But whatever they are, they're a lot of fun to watch. You know, the glowing gases kind of thing reminds me of the government cover-up stories.
It's
like
the standard story they give.
Glowing gases. What is it?
Gases.
A weather
swamp gas. Glowing swamp gases.
Swamp gases. A balloon.
A weather
balloons.
Yeah.
What else do they cover up UFOs?
Yeah.
You know all the standard cover-up stories with
Right.
UFOs.
Right.
I mean, honestly, lights that don't act like light should in the sky. Come on, what are you thinking?
It's either aliens or ghosts.
I would most likely lean towards the UFO variety.
Because these lights show up in the sky. We're not talking like a few feet off the ground. We're talking up in the sky,
and they
like where planes
split apart,
where planes
they merge
are flying
together.
So
and there have been tons of reports of our government covering up Air Force sightings, pilots severely traumatized by this shit. So I mean, as lame as lights in the sky through several states that I have researched about and read this article about, it's usually UFOs. I wouldn't say ghosts. I'd say UFOs.
This is UFOs.
I mean,
Texas is famous for UFOs.
And you know what? I'm the type of person, and hate if you may, I don't really mind. I love learning new things, but when it comes to UFOs, let me rephrase this. When it comes to space and discovery, all those documentaries you're watching, all that PBS shows you're watching, Nova, when it comes to space, those are all theories. These are not 100% hard facts. They're using theories and mathematics to make a guesstimate of what's going on in our night skies. Yeah. They don't know.
They don't know. Yeah, you're right.
So when it comes to UFOs, and for me to think that we're the only sentient beings in this solar system, or we're the only solar system, I mean, come on. There's stuff going down that we don't know.
Yeah.
Do I believe in little green men and shit like that? Never seen them. So I really don't believe, but
it's a stretch.
I mean, as far as lights in the sky and things like that, yeah, I believe it. Have they touched down on Earth? I don't know.
Crop circles.
Well, they've narrowed those crop circles down to be hoax, but what they haven't explained is when you're not the crop circles, but the actual there's statues in the ground, like not, I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it's kind of like crop circles, but not in crops.
Right.
Who the fuck did those? Like, how can you make a perfectly, like, build a perfect man and not know what you're building? I mean, crop circles, you're just making designs like Etch-a-Sketch. Easy to do. You could use math for that, but
yeah.
But like the one, there's like a big giant tarantula.
I haven't seen that one.
There's like a tarantula. There's like a man with a spike.
There's the horse one.
There's the giant horse. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you know what you're building if there's not someone in the sky like, okay, like 2 clicks to the left, 2 clicks to the right, like three blocks up, like you're in Minecraft or something. You know what I mean? Like you're building something in Minecraft.
Yeah.
So that's just my theory.
Okay.
Do I believe in little green men? I don't know. Never witnessed them. But I have witnessed the lights in the sky flying around, and it doesn't look like anything a plane is doing.
No.
Like the way that it blinks and the way it's shooting around like it's a firefly.
Right.
Like if it's a massive prehistoric firefly that I don't know about that lives in Arizona, and it's an urban legend I never heard of. Fuck.
A glowing pterosaur.
A glowing pterosaur in Arizona. Home of UFOs and weird lights. But that's my rant on lights.
Okay.
Unexplained lights.
So, Boom Doom and I did talk about this, the Black-Eyed Children.
Yes.
There's, I'm still trying to find the movie. There was a movie that came out.
Do you know when? Was it an old movie or a newer movie?
It was a newer movie. So it was called Black-Eyed Children. Well, this was a report back in 1996 from a reporter, Brian Bethel, who encountered 2 children that were not normal.
Where? So, in Texas, right? Abilene?
Abilene, yes. So, scary movies constantly have people fearing old country back roads, abandoned homes, and kids popping out of cornfields. But the Black-Eyed Children are known to be seen wandering around totally normal, non-threatening locals like Walmart parking lots and Sonic drive-ins. And worse, they're rumored to put their victim in a tight situation by starting out asking for something totally unsuspecting like a ride home or some petty cash. So Brian Bethel was the first documented case back in 1996 that this was the part of the story that I read that really just bugged the hell out of me, was that it was 10 o'clock at night. He was down to pay his internet bill, which is next to a movie theater. Who pays their internet bill at 10 o'clock at night?
Here's the thing. He's paying an internet bill, so obviously his Wi-Fi has been shut off.
Well, I don't think they had Wi-Fi back in 96.
Okay, oh shit.
No, it was all dial-up. 96.
So how the fuck was he paying
by check. He was writing out a check. He was going to drop it in a drop slot. But at 10 o'clock at night, that was what's bugging me.
Well, was there a mailbox around?
Yeah, there's like a slot in the door. Mail slots in the door.
Okay.
Or drop box or something.
Or was it like a mailbox, one of those old-fashioned blue mailboxes that used to be all around town that you don't see anymore?
No. He wasn't at a mail
Do you notice that?
Yeah.
You don't see those around town anymore.
No.
They used to be all over fucking town.
Well, because now with our internet, everybody has a online pay account.
I know, but it's just sad to see things like, payphones and public restrooms and mailboxes disappear from.
Yeah, no, he wasn't at a mailbox. He was outside the internet company writing out a check to drop in their slot.
Well, maybe because his shit got turned off. You know how it goes.
Yeah, especially
back
in the 90s.
then. There was no 24/7 answering
customer service.
No, not customer service or fucking call centers.
Yeah,
and if you believe you're calling a real fucking business outside of business hours, you're stupid.
Yeah, you're not.
Talking from experience.
Yeah, we had.
You're calling a call center. But back then there was no call center.
No.
Shit closed up at 5 p.m. You were fucked.
You were fucked for however long they took them to get back to you.
So
anyway,
I believe it.
Anyway, so he was outside near a movie theater, and Mortal Kombat was playing. He knew that.
Well, yeah, the movie poster.
Yeah. So while he was filling out the check, 2 children who Bethel claims were between 9 and 12 approached the car, knocked on the window, asked for a ride home to grab cash to come back for the movie. The children, who totally unnerved Bethel, claimed they didn't have a gun. Weird, right?
Yeah.
Before making eye contact and revealing coal-black eyes that Bethel later described as the sort of eyes one sees these days on aliens or bargain basement vampires on late-night television. So, also part of the story was they kept saying, let us in. Let us in.
Like vampires.
Or demons.
Or demons.
Demons. So, it's not known what happens when these children are let in. But he was, the story that I read, that when he saw them, he was completely paralyzed, terrified. They were not doing anything threatening. They weren't obviously threatening.
Okay.
So, but he felt a super terrifying feeling, and he was not going to open the car door. They kept saying they wanted a ride home to get some money to go see the movie. Well, the movie had been playing for an hour. So he's right there. Red flags are popping up going, oh, well, the movie's been playing for an hour. By the time they get back, the movie's going to be over. It's going to be too late. But he kept feeling like there was something wrong, and he was not going to open the door. And when he was leaving, the older boy was saying, we can't come in until you let us in. And he hauled ass out of there. So the theory is they're either little vampires or they're demons. I'm guessing demons because of the eyes.
I'll definitely go on the demon route than vampire.
Because they keep saying we can't come in until you let us in.
I don't know though, but demons can do whatever the fuck they want.
No. For possession, you have to give permission.
Well, but they can break you down.
Well, that's where they get the permission after they break you down.
Yeah, but they weren't breaking him down doing shit. They were just asking for a ride, lady.
No, but they wanted... Thanks for the ride, lady! No, they wanted permission to get in the car. And he wouldn't let them. Because he was not going to let them. Next up is Utah.
Okay, we both have the same thing, but we've talked about this before when we talked about
Ouija boards.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that listen to our Ouija board episode, we're talking about the Escalante Petrified Forest Curse.
So Utah's legend is particularly troubling for tourists as they might be taking the horror home with them even if they escape the forest. With shocking regularity, visitors who have stolen chunks of petrified wood from Escalante Petrified Forest State Park will mail back their lifted souvenirs, thinking that'll break the curse. All their letters detail series of unfortunate events, from broken collarbones, arms, and ribs, to mysterious illnesses, horrific accidents, and financial ruin. The one thing they have in common, they all occurred after the victim illegally stole a piece of the forest. So, from the Ouija board one, we talked about how the Ouija boards were originally made out of wood, and some of them were made out of the trees from the Escalante Park.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which made them extra evil.
Yeah. So people were thinking that they would get rid of this bad luck if they mailed back a piece of the forest going, sorry.
Stupid, you're still attached.
Yeah, you're fucked. Once you got it, you're fucked. Many people have, and still do, mail back cursed pieces of the petrified wood, and the park even displays the letters and samples openly as an attraction.
Of course, because we have to make money on people's bad fortune. It's the American way.
Yes. Go USA. Apparently, there have been cases of stolen wood turning to bad luck since the 1930s, though it's unclear the actual root of the curse. Maybe it's the burden of moral ambiguity affecting other areas of life. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Either way, it's not worth risking your collarbone.
I mean, we're talking about allegedly 150 million year old wood. That's got some history.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the trees in The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
they're pretty angry.
Pretty old. They're pretty old, and they tell you about it.
They're angry. I mean, look at the trees in The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
I mean, they're pretty freaking angry.
They're angry too.
So we're talking about some angry fucking wood.
But it's not like just a random coincidence. There's been hundreds of people mailing back their pieces going, whoops, this is what happened after I took this rock. So,
yeah, I believe it. I really do believe it. I mean, even inanimate objects can still have a way of linking to tragedy?
Well, technically, it's part of a tree, which contains spirits, forest spirits.
I mean, you know what?
So,
I
yeah.
say that a lot, but look at the giving tree.
Mm-hmm.
That tree got fucked in the A hard.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm sure it's pretty angry.
Yeah.
So I believe in inanimate objects holding tragedy.
Yeah.
I truly believe it. And even if you burn down a haunted house, the ground and the area is
It's
still linked.
Yeah.
It's still cursed. It still holds the tragedy.
You can't wash it away.
You cannot wash it away.
Yep. Okay, next up, Vermont.
That's a wine burp, by the way.
Chardonnay.
With a little popcorn, because I went to the movies earlier. So what do you got in Vermont?
The Hayden family curse.
Ooh.
You know a curse is serious when it takes down an entire lineage and still manages to bother people after everyone else is dead.
Oh, Jesus.
William Hayden was a wealthy landowner in Albany, Vermont.
Sorry.
In the early 1800s, but he never repaid his even wealthier mother-in-law for loaning him some major funds over the years. Uh-oh.
The mother-in-law.
Yeah. After much complaining, she became mysteriously ill, accused William of poisoning her, and with her dying breath said, "The Hayden name shall die in the 3rd generation, and the last to bear the name shall die in poverty." Oh!
Bitch!
Yeah. The Hayden family barely made it another 100 years after being plagued with financial catastrophes and illnesses. Phantom music, mysterious lights, and other assorted paranormal activity is said to haunt their estate in Albany, along with the ghost of vengeful mother-in-law, too. She's really mad at that guy.
You know what? This is the thing that really pisses me off about family. Why can't you just be fucking happy to see your family succeed in life? You're gonna die, and you're not gonna take that shit with you, bitch.
Well, plus, he must have asked her for a really big loan.
It doesn't
and
matter.
He never paid her back. You know how parents...
It doesn't matter. It's your family.
Sometimes parents get so petty with that
No.
shit.
You know what?
And she probably poisoned herself to blame it on him to give her a reason.
Yeah, you know what? But that's your family. If you loan your family money, that's because you're doing it because you know that they need help.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you expecting? I mean, I'm not saying that you should just take advantage of your family.
No.
But what I'm saying is whatever happened to family finding joy in helping out other families succeed in life, having that foot up in life, because we all know life is so fucking hard on a day-to-day basis. And when it comes to finances, where we're trading pieces of paper to live, think about that. We're trading pieces of paper to live. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you want to see your face, especially when you have that kind of money to loan?
But
bitch, you are.
But it was the mother-in-law, so she wasn't a Hayden.
It doesn't matter. That's still your fucking family.
Yes, it's your daughter's family, but yeah, she should be happy to help out. Anyway. In some versions, William Hayden was a Gatsby-esque party boy.
Okay, that changes the story.
Who quite knowingly blew all his mother-in-law's funds on lavish parties and ornate decorations for his home, building the family's local fame and infamy, which probably just fueled the rumor mill. And when all the Haydens died, a wealthy Canadian family moved into their mansion and allegedly used the home for bootlegging and smuggling Chinese immigrants for slave labor. So yeah, even if the curse isn't real, the house itself still has some dark history. Hayden was a douchebag and just a party boy.
Okay, that does change the story, but I'm still thinking if your family is struggling and you can help your family, that's no reason to turn into a cunt.
Well, but he took the money. He didn't use it for his family. He used it for himself.
Well, if the story of him being this Gatsby-esque party boy sounds like something the mother-in-law would spread. Mm-hmm. That definitely, she could be more of a victim in this story.
Well, okay, yeah.
It sounds like this woman was miserable from the start.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the 1800s, those wealthy old biddies.
Oh, they were bitches.
They were bitches.
Bitches.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess the house is still there.
That we know of.
Maybe.
So what I have for Vermont is Black Agnes.
Yes.
Fans of The Ring will want to make a pit stop in Mount Pillier to visit its time-released demon. Anyone who travels to Greenmount Cemetery and sits on the lap of the statue of Black Agnes, legend has it, meets an unexplainable and untimely death 7 days later. 7 days. 7 days. Probably not from a double-jointed soggy girl demon because of copyright reasons, but likely terrifying nonetheless.
Ooh.
That doesn't give me anything.
No.
Black
A time release demon.
So you sit on the statue's lap, and 7 days later you die.
Yeah.
Like, if you know that's the shit that's going down, why?
Just take a picture. Don't sit on it.
I mean, if you know that this is the story...
Yeah, don't do it.
You skeptics ruin everything. I swear.
Alright, good try, Vermont.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Virginia! Okay. Would this be scary?
If it was in a movie called Donnie Darko.
Yeah, the Bunny Man Bridge.
I'm telling you, Donnie Darko.
Oh my god.
Give it to us, Bane.
The legend is fun to repeat at campfires, but the real sightings beyond the legend are some to give you nightmares. Okay. In 1970, the 70s, there were numerous police reports of people who had been threatened by a man holding an axe wearing a white suit with bunny ears. A few individuals reported that the man in the suit actually threw the axe at them for trespassing. To this day, there have been many sightings of dead rabbits appearing in the woods surrounding Fairfax Bridge, now known as the Bunny Man Bridge, as well as a white figure appearing late at night underneath the bridge. Under the bridge, like a troll. Legend says that in 1904, a group of convicts were piled onto a bus to be transported from an asylum in Clifton, Virginia, to a nearby prison. En route, one of the buses crashed. The convicts managed to escape, and the police were able to round up all but one of the convicts, of course. There's one gets away. As their search went on, they began to find skinned, half-eaten bunnies in the woods and hanging from the overpass of Fairfax Bridge, now known as the Bunny Man Bridge. A year later, on Halloween night, several teens went to hang out under the bridge. Come morning, they were all found dead. It is said that if you hang out under the bridge on Halloween night, you will meet the same fate as the rabbits and the teenagers.
I mean, you've got to survive.
Well, I mean, this is not scary except for the axe part.
I'm pretty sure he found that bunny suit trying to look for clothes that wasn't his, prison or mental patient clothing.
But then, of course, it had to be near Halloween, because how would he find that if it wasn't Halloween?
Like the Terminator.
Yeah.
Give me your clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
I believe it. I mean, those mental patients, and I'm speaking from experience, they are
another story.
crafty
yeah.
motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. And not only that, they are working on a level of smartness that you wouldn't even imagine that they had.
Yeah.
Like, they are so crafty and manipulative that you're constantly wondering, are they mentally ill or are they an asshole? Like, you cannot pinpoint that line of mental illness and asshole.
Yeah, no, it's a fine line, a super fine line.
It's super, like, cunt hair of a line.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot tell the difference. Mm-hmm. And I'm only speaking from experience.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
You too. We are speaking of experience of dealing with the mentally ill.
Yes.
Like, this person made us constantly question if he was really mentally
ill or really just a manipulative fucker.
But they are crafty. They
Yeah.
are really they are like they are on a level of, like, you can't even imagine.
Yeah.
To where you're constantly questioning your own sanity. Okay, with Virginia...
nice.
With Virginia, what do you think we'd find?
Wolves.
Yeah.
Anybody catch that link? Virginia Woolf? Well, I've got... I'm sorry, I had to go there.
Nice.
Not only that I love Virginia Woolf's work, but the werewolves of
Henrico.
Henrico, Virginia may be home to the United States' only vegetarian werewolf.
Okay, stop right there. Vegetarian werewolf.
This thing goes against everything werewolf.
Oh my god.
I mean, this thing is that vegan chick you just want to slap. While he's been repeatedly spotted roaming around the Confederate Hills Recreation Center, he only seems interested in chasing his victims. Everyone who's reported encountering the urban legend says that although he got close, he never did them any harm.
Because he's vegetarian.
Weak!
Okay.
You can't call this a werewolf if he isn't, like, bloodthirsty in some manner.
He's bloodthirsty for vegetables!
Mine sucked. You win. You win on the Bunnyman Bridge.
Barely. This is still...
I tried to tie in a joke with Virginia Woolf and it just failed.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. It doesn't beat the guy that eats and skins bunnies and teenagers.
I'm sorry. It doesn't beat the mental patient.
In a bunny suit.
With
an axe.
I've got a vegetarian werewolf that doesn't do shit.
Except eat vegetables and scare people.
Although, you know, if I were a werewolf and I was a vegetarian, I would live my life to fuck with people. I seriously would. Like, if that's all I had in life was just to fuck with people and eat vegetables, I think I'd be good.
You know, I don't think he would be able to change into a werewolf because... He's not bloodthirsty.
Where's the bloodthirst, man?
Where is he a werewolf? No, it can't happen because werewolves are fueled by blood.
Yeah, this urban legend's weak sauce at best.
Virginia, weak.
All right, we're on to Washington.
Washington. Oh my, here's another one. 13 Steps to Hell.
Ooh, perfect number.
Basically the opposite of the Zeppelin song, The Stairway to Heaven. The Maltby Cemetery itself, the subject of rumors associating it with Satanism. Here's another Satanism thing.
Right.
Is rumored to include a subterranean tomb for a really creepy rich family that could be accessed by 13 steps that led to their final resting place. Or the final resting place of every damned soul in history. As legend has it, that descending the entire staircase led you to glimpse hell itself. The cemetery has been around since 1901, though the crypt itself date has been lost to time. So the crypt itself, the subterranean crypt, is older than 1901.
But they, like, just stumbled across it in 1901?
Yeah.
Like, they were like, doo-doo-doo-doo,
They put
what
the cemetery above it.
They
put the cemetery above it.
Oh, because they didn't want to ruin the integrity. Because they were like, wow, this is great.
As have the stairs themselves, which have been bulldozed and covered in concrete. Aw, this hasn't stopped curious paranormal masochists from trespassing on the secluded private property, allegedly showing up at the cemetery at night, eager to unearth it via nocturnal excavation missions, and being greeted by the cemetery's other apparitions. So, people have been trying to dig up the stairs.
I want to know the backstory. Like, okay, it's a rich family, so you know there's a lot of, like, scandal and tragedy and drama.
Okay, Washington.
I've got Pike's Place Market. All I know about that place is they throw fish at each other. Washington's Pike Place Market isn't just a great place to shop. It's haunted to boot. Occasionally, shoppers report seeing an old Native American woman in the distance weaving baskets for sale. But before they can get close enough to buy, she disappears. Local legend has it that she's not just a craftswoman, but the ghost of Kikisoblu, the daughter of Chief Seattle himself, and once lived in a nearby cabin and never strayed far from home.
Oh, just another ghostly apparition.
Yeah, it's one of those echoes.
Echoes.
Because this might have been, what do you call it, fur trading? Depot?
Right.
So she's just an echo.
Yeah.
That's all she's doing.
That's what she used to do right there. She'd weave her baskets
so
and
she's
sell
just
them.
an echo in time.
Yep.
Aww.
Yeah. That's kind of nice.
That's, like, really endearing and sweet.
That's kind of nice. West Virginia.
What do you got?
The Mothman.
Me too!
You got the Mothman?
I got the Mothman. I'm going to read mine since you always get the backstory.
Go ahead.
The Mothman is a 12-foot tall space creature who landed in West Virginia sometime in 1966 and has been popping in on residents ever since. He's famous for scaring couples canoodling in parked cars, eating farmers' dogs, and frightening anyone who spotted his 10-foot wide wingspan or heard his piercing shriek. No, just kidding. In fact, he's such a big part of the urban landscape that there's a movie about him, a statue in his honor, and a local Mothman festival every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what this reminds me of?
Huh.
Do you remember the show The Tick?
Yeah.
What was his sidekick's name?
Oh, I don't remember.
Mothman.
It was Mothman. He was a moth, right?
He was a moth.
He was a moth, right.
Aww. Poor little Mothman sidekick is really a big guy. What do you got more on this?
So, yeah, 1966. But it's saying residents all over West Virginia reported seeing the winged, human-like, red-eyed creature around the state, unsure if it was a demon, alien, or genetic experiment gone wrong. Even as recently as 2016, Mothman sightings have made the news. The myth dates back to the initial newspaper piece, but the legend has been long propagated in pop culture, inspiring a horror novel and the subsequent Richard Gere film adaptation in Point Pleasant, where the original incidents were recorded. There's a Mothman museum, a Mothman festival, and a sizable statue. The Mothman has become a big business, and if nothing else, he clearly paved the way for tabloid darling, the Bat Child. Remember that? Bat Child came out then, too.
Yep.
So, yeah, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, Mothman. But the movie was really kind of, it was a little scary.
It was really scary because it seemed like it was like kind of hypnotic.
Yeah.
And it foretold of future tragedies.
Tragedies. Always tragedies. Nothing cheerful, nothing happy. Always something bad happening.
And if you weren't kind of like afraid of it, like the old woman, remember it came to like attack her on the regular?
Yep.
Because she wasn't afraid of it.
Yeah.
She was like, wasn't she like blind and like disabled?
No, she wasn't blind, but
she was just old.
She was old, but she had physical scars of where she'd be attacked, like there was burns.
Because the thing is because she wasn't afraid of him, he would come back and attack her on the regular.
Yeah, to make her, probably to scare her.
But she wasn't scared.
No. But it would leave, in the movie, it was leaving like burn marks on trees. It was attacking people.
It would like come to her house.
Some people had like their faces looked like they'd been bleeding, burned.
Well, I remember Richard Gere's character seemed very hypnotic.
Well, it's the voice when he talked to it. The voice, because they were saying it was not a human voice,
but it was kind of telepathic.
It was very telepathic. It was reading. It could read your thoughts over the phone, apparently.
But it also impersonated. Remember,
people.
Didn't it impersonate his love interest at the time?
No, his wife, his dead wife.
Dead wife.
Yeah, it impersonated his dead wife because that's what he was doing, was trying to find his dead wife because she died, saying she saw this thing when they were in that car accident.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that caused it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so this is a thing. They don't know what it is, and it doesn't say anything about what it does.
Other than it's a fortune teller.
Yeah, of tragedy,
though. Of tragedy.
Tragedy.
Because all I remember is about the tragedy on the
Ohio River. Yeah.
And that's when they all fell in off the bridge. The bridge just collapsed.
Yeah.
And they all fell. But that was a real life...
That was a real event.
That was a real event that happened. So, it's kind of like one of those tragedy dolls.
Yeah.
But still, I will always remember the Tick Man's sidekick, Mothman. And he was wimpy, and he was... didn't like being a sidekick, but that's all his value was.
Yeah. Wisconsin.
Oh,
we have the same thing.
Again!
Yeah.
The Hodag.
The Rylander.
Why does it sound familiar? Is this another supernatural thing?
Hodag. No.
Is it a Tales from the Dark Side?
No. It was Odd Thomas. Bodax.
Odd Thomas!
Odd
I
Thomas.
knew this sounded so familiar.
He said Bodax, but it's close.
No. The actual Hodag.
Oh.
Is it an X-Files? I know I've heard of this before.
Probably.
It can either be an X-Files, it can either be a Supernatural, it can either be a Tales from the Dark Side, or it can... Hodag! Wasn't it that thing with Seth Green as the little kid, the Scottish...
Oh, no. That was the Cuddy Black Sow.
Oh, never mind then.
And that wasn't Seth Green.
Okay.
Yeah. Close.
Shit.
Okay.
Wine.
Go ahead.
Okay, so what I've got is the Hodag is the legendary large and smelly beast that captured America's imagination. It toured the area in a sideshow. Children ran screaming from the tent, was haunted by the area's beast marksman, and even attracted the attention of the Smithsonian Institute, whose investigation prompted Eugene Shepard, the man who made up the hunt and the fake Hodag in the tent, to fess up. But locals had grown to love the Hodag so much they kept loving him anyways. Now the Hodag has a statue in Rhinelander, a festival in his name, and even a Scooby-Doo event, and even a Scooby-Doo episode starring him and his creator.
Right.
Maybe that's where I got it, Scooby-Doo!
That's right.
I knew it sounded familiar.
Right.
Oh, man. Wisconsin.
So this is saying... The Hodag is a small creature that is simultaneously a frightening demon and comically covered in spikes. It's often portrayed as being dog-sized, but early reports said it could grow to 6 feet long. 1928 legend describes the Hodag as having the head of a frog. Here we go. Head of a frog, saber-toothed tiger-like fangs, thick legs with large claws, the back of a plated dinosaur, and a long tail with spears on the end. Despite its hellspawn swagger, it was never that much of a threat to humans outside its powerful skunk perfume stench.
And back then, they were like making that shit up.
Yeah.
They just said Smithsonian made Eugene Shepard confess he made it up, but because remember, what is it? Barnum and Bailey. Barnum and Bailey were making those half fish, half children, or like half bear, half fish, duck, whatever the fuck. They were doing that during this time to trick people.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
So, yeah.
What else you got? Do you got anything else on this?
Yeah, it said the Green Devil was discovered in 1893 by developer Eugene Shepard, was almost instantly became a fixture in North Wisconsin folklore. 3 years later, Shepard claimed he caught another and put it on display in the 1896 Oneida County Fair. He had knocked it out with chloroform, so of course it was sleeping. But he had wires hooked up to the fake animal to make it move occasionally. Word spread fast, and the Smithsonian sent a reporter to look into the Hodag. Shepard quickly admitted it was a fraud. Rhinelander never let go, though. It's the high school mascot, and there are multiple statues of the beast around town.
Seriously, you got cheese. Why do you need the Hodag? Like, cheese is such a glorious, beautiful invention. Why do you need a Hodag?
Because they're bored with cheese.
I'm sorry, cheese...
They don't want to be known as the cheese state.
Cheese is up there with manna.
Yeah.
Manna and cheese go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Why do you need this Hodag, Wisconsin?
They need something scary and shocking.
No, you do not. You've got cheese, baby. You've got cheese.
Wyoming.
Last on our list. This has been fun. I've got the Wyoming Whispers.
Oh, that's interesting.
And according to all the things I've seen about Wyoming, Wyoming is like desolate.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck Wyoming? Like, I visited there before. It was pretty shallow and it was not a good time in my life, but I spent 3 weeks there and
it was pretty country.
I was miserable. It's flat.
That's pretty.
I'm sorry, Wyoming was flat.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about Wyoming was flat.
That's true.
But that was just my experience as a young child.
Yep.
But what I found was the Wyoming Whispers. Traveling to the high country above Yellowstone Lake and stop to listen, you can hear a disturbing whining whisper that lasts up to 30 seconds. Known as the Yellowstone Whispers, they're most often heard between the hours of dawn and 10 a.m. and have been going on for quite some time. Even trappers told stories about it, and Native Americans regarded it as a sacred occurrence. It's another one of those natural kind of air current meets a certain...
Because it's a structure, they're in a structure above the lake. It's blowing wind, of course.
Air current.
Yeah.
You know, because I used to think with when you had a window like slightly opened and the wind hit it, I would always call those ghosts because you would hear that howling, that kind of like woo. Yeah. So it's one of those. Wyoming, I'm not impressed with your whispers. I thought it could be something more, but it's not.
I don't know. I think this tops it.
What do you got?
The Platte River Ship of Death.
Ooh, I hear so many kind of like creepypastas going in my head.
There are endless creepy tales in the wilds of Wyoming, among them a headless woman who haunts the lodge at Old Faithful. But the creepiest is also the most overlooked, a ghost ship that materialized out of spectral fog on the Platte River. The cursed crew huddles on the deck of the old sailboat, surround a body. If the onlooker persists in looking, the corpse is revealed to be that of a still living loved one, who will then die soon afterward. A banshee.
A banshee.
A type of banshee.
Yes.
Without the screaming.
Right.
The ship was first reportedly spotted in 1892 by a trapper named Leon Weber, whose girlfriend died shortly after he envisioned her on the cursed deck. Legend has it that the last documented sighting claimed the life of a lumberjack's friend back in 1903. There have been no official sightings, since though you could forgive people for getting the hell away from the river as soon as the fog rolls in. Fuck yeah!
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Ooh, that's scary.
That's really bad.
That's like the fog.
Yeah.
That's much like the fog.
That's very much like the fog.
And getting onto the ship and having this vision of a loved one that you're thinking about,
so there's
which will die in a short amount of time.
So there's some spooky transference, like some.
It's almost like it almost
premonition.
Yeah, but it also seems like that's a cost for getting onto the ship.
Ooh.
If you want to get on the ship and see these ghosts, they will take one of your family. Yeah.
Ooh, tit for tat. Yeah. Wyoming, you redeemed yourself gloriously.
Yeah, this is awesome. And that wraps up. We covered all the USA.
Yes. Yes, just wow.
So I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about it.
I was impressed by some and disappointed by others, but you give a good effort.
Yeah.
And just know that we only touched on, maybe one or two cities in the state. Every city, just imagine this, every city in every state has their own legend.
Oh, yeah.
This has been fun.
Especially when she drinks.
Well, urban legends are just more interesting when there's alcohol involved. They're much more believable.
Sometimes.
They're easier to pick apart. You don't have to think too much. You just don't even know.
Urban legends. There's one in your town, too, if you dig and do some research.
That's a homework challenge. Everybody who listens to this, I challenge you to find your urban legend in your city.
emztradio@gmail.com.
Yeah, or comment below or something. Like, give a dog a bone.
When the legend becomes fact, print the legend. Never believe what you publish. And never publish what you believe.
And that wraps up another episode of EMZT Radio.
Yes, it does. Hey, real quick, there is going to be a major change to the Twitch streaming coming up here. in the actually this week, starting on Monday. I've taken a couple weeks off from streaming because of my work schedule, and we're actually revamping the lineup to where now it's Monday nights is still going to be Fallout, and yes, when Fallout 76 comes, we'll be playing that. Tuesday night now is Doom.
Ooh.
We're going back to 2016 and Doom.
Nice.
Wednesday night we're gonna have professional wrestling, just because. Saturday night still Zombie Stompin' Saturday, and Sunday is still always everybody's favorite general chit chat, the chill stream or whatever you want to call it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I thought I'd throw that out there.
All right.
And I apologize for no energy, but I'm kind of sick this week, so.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. And be sure to check out all our links and buy a T-shirt, please. We have a couple of designs.
Couple of designs, yeah.
I've been going through Boom Doom's drawings. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna scan them and send them to you. See what you can do with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah. So that'll be possibly a third, fourth, fifth, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So until next week. Or whatever.
Stay tuned for another episode of EMZT Radio.
Must be a chick thing.